Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Walter's Rear Window. And on today's episode, we will be discussing anime. And I will be introducing Maya to some of my favorite animes, as well as talking about our WasabiCon trip, which is coming up pretty soon. All right, so as this episode comes out, Maya and I will have already gone to WasabiCon.
Mm-hmm.
However, as the recording of this episode, haven't gone yet. We're going to go, I think, next week.
Yeah, so next week we're going to be at WasabiCon on July 28th. And as of you listening to this, you already know our fate, which is so crazy. I mean, we have no idea what's going to happen, but by the time this episode comes out, we will have already been. So you guys already kind of know what happened, but we don't.
And we will do an episode on our experience,
we sure will.
Don't worry about that.
But we have no idea what to expect, especially me, because I have very little background in anime. But Claire is our resident expert, so she's going to help us out through this.
Yeah, so, I mean, Maya has kind of gone into anime.
Mm-hmm.
You like Rilakkuma, right?
I love Rilakkuma.
And that is kind of like an anime cartoon character.
I have flourishes of it, but it's all very, vanilla anime. I did, Pokemon. I really was deep into that. I really love Rilakkuma. I I'm trying to think of other things that I've seen. I've seen a little bit of Full Metal Alchemist. I've seen a little bit of One Piece, but all of this stuff is to say very, very, very minimal. When I say a little bit, I mean 30 minutes here or there. So I have the interest. I'm fascinated by it, but I don't have the knowledge to back it up yet.
So I have very specifically weird taste in anime. I like the action genre a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Or very interesting action genre. So my favorite for the last year or so is Jujutsu Kaisen.
Okay.
And I have told you about Gojo before, and you know how much I love
Oh
it.
yeah.
I had Gojo's themed nails for a month.
Yeah,
straight.
they were pretty excellent. It was kind of insane.
This is how much I love him. I also have plushies of him and figurines of him.
Yeah, naturally.
And this is a huge spoiler right now. Cover your ears if you
don't want to
get
get a spoiler. Close your ears. You have been warned.
Close your ears. We're gonna talk about Jujutsu Kaisen for the next 5 minutes or so.
So go ahead and skip ahead 5 minutes if you don't want to know.
When he died,
I love you went right into it. You wwere warned.
Maya will know this. When he died, I went over to Maya and was like, he died.
She was not okay.
And Maya had no context to this at the point. She was like, what? Who died?
What's happening? Who's dying?
And I was like, this 2D character died and I'm not okay.
So wait, okay. Let me ask. So this is a big question for me because a lot of anime is based off of manga. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So Jujutsu Kaisen started out as a manga.
Okay, that's what I thought. So is there an arc so when anime is based off of manga, does it follow the same arc usually, or do they kind of take a different route? And then do they ever have different endings? Is it kind of like comic books and superheroes?
Okay, it's kind of it really depends on the production schedule, because sometimes the anime catches up to the manga faster, and that's when the production company will start putting in filler episodes to try and wait for the manga to catch up, and then they'll try and go back in. This is the One Piece problem, by the way. One Piece has had so many filler arcs that the arcs could be their own thing.
Well, isn't that why there are 1,000 episodes of One Piece? Or, that's what. So
yeah, that's also.
I see. So a lot of manga is kind of manga and anime go hand in hand, kind of like Game of Thrones did, where
a little
they were
bit.
really stalling for that last season just to try to get it done. Okay, that makes sense. So it's kind of in tandem.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's kind of in tandem. However, there are also original animes, which is animes that were written and produced by the anime studios.
Mm-hmm.
Also, one of my favorite animes of recent, Buddy Daddies, which is about these two assassins who take care of a 5-year-old kid.
Oh my god, I love it. That's so cute.
It's so good. It's so good. And that was also not from a manga. That was written by the anime studios.
Interesting. So okay.
Yeah.
Another question for you, which is I wonder if they do this. So you know, Marvel movies. Do you have Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, Marvel movies, all the stuff that happens, and then they made a bunch of like Marvel TV shows, right? And there's like a synergy between them, like the TV show informs the movie and the movie informs the TV show, all of that. Which it sounds like is kind of similar between like manga and anime here. Like,
Yeah.
Marvel or Disney rather, like released this thing. I can't even say recently, but I've just been thinking about it since it happened, called Marvel's What If, which is like, it's just a bunch of shows like, what if we did this instead of that? Does that kind of happen in anime as well, or is that less of a thing?
Not really. It's not really a thing.
Good.
So animes go by season. So each season has like maybe like 20 or so new animes that come out. And then, yeah, so they kind of go by that schedule-wise. And like there's so many different animes that like it's not... And each different studio has like their own style and their own approach. Like some studios are like really good at actions. Others are really good at like romance or drama animes and stuff like that.
See, I have like so much more respect for that. Like I'm really glad that I asked that, because I would have assumed that it was kind of like that. I think the Marvel's What If thing, that is one of my least favorite elements, because then what is canon doesn't even matter, you know? Like I'm like, I don't care about it if it didn't actually quote unquote happen, or it doesn't inform the plot at all.
I think one of the problem is like Marvel, their really only main competitor is DC.
And it's not even close.
It's not even really close. But in like the anime realm, there are like maybe like 5 or 6 top studios that are like competing with each other.
That's interesting. And then that must make it a lot more there's like a lot more variety, because like
it's very like every season there's always like a drama, there's always like an action, there's always like a comedy, like there's a lot of variety.
I can get behind that like in a big way, because I just like the Marvel thing. I have a lot of trouble keeping up with stuff that has so much content that I have to like follow, which is I think why I have trouble with anime, just because like it is a lot to take in at once, and it's hard for me to like keep that in the back of my mind all the time.
But going back, Jujutsu Kaisen is on Netflix right now.
Is it really?
So it's only 24 episodes. Okay. You should watch it. There's 2 seasons and then a movie.
That's doable. Yeah. Like I can get behind that, and I think like I start to melt in this pile of like Marvel What If content. Like they're not even making anything that like is anything, and so like I think anime could fill that void in a really interesting way, because like they are doing it right at least in my opinion. But yeah, like so your main genre is action, you said?
Well, not like action, but I gravitate towards that genre. I watch all genres to be specific. Yeah. But my favorite characters tend to be in like action genres. I don't know why, but like it's just interesting.
Like, okay, so for this one, like give me like a theme for the entirety of what happens in this story.
Okay, obviously I don't really want to spoil it so much for you, because I want you to watch it. So Jujutsu Kaisen is very Japanese. I feel like it's kind of like it's an action thing where you're fighting evil spirits. Okay. That normal people cannot see.
Yes, you showed me a little bit of the movie. Yeah.
I
like this.
So I don't know. It's just like it's quirky, and it, like you really just have to watch like the first season to really get the gist of it. And like what I love about it is they do actions so
really.
The fight scenes are awesome. Like with the first like 2 episodes. Once you get into it, you'll get into it. So the first like biggest fight is the fight with it's like a minute-and-a-half clip between Gojo and Sukuna, which is like kind of like the main villain of the series, whatever. But like it's so good. Like the camera angles and like everything. And it's like you're riveted. You watch this and you're like, my God.
Okay, interesting. Like
it's something Wyatt will like.
Totally,
I feel like.
I'm sure. Like, cause like I have a big appreciation for like comic books, which you could say like manga is similar to. It's very like it's like sequential storytelling from different perspectives, obviously, but it's like very interesting. And I think that aspect of it, like it translates over to anime really interestingly. Like I like seeing the movement, you know, but also understanding like almost seeing moments and being like, oh, that could be a panel. That could be a panel. Like I think I like seeing that. So I like the big dramatic moments are a lot of fun for me.
Yeah. So like it says their genre is like a fantasy adventure, dark fantasy adventure with supernatural elements. It's cool. You have to watch it. It's on Netflix. So.
And I can totally get behind that genre, especially like I like really weird horror-y things.
You just really need to watch the first 5 episodes like you're getting.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna give it a shot. Is that your favorite? Your like number one?
Well, no, I don't have a number one. I just have like things I like.
That's fair.
But yeah, last year that was the one I was the most excited to see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this next one is a kind of like a deviation.
Okay,
from that.
let's hear it.
It's currently out right now. It's called Twilight Out of Focus.
Okay.
And it's a BL anime, which is voice love.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's currently out right now. You can watch this on Crunchyroll. There's only like 2 episodes out. And I don't know, I've read the manga of this. And I don't know, it's just very interesting. So it follows these 2 students who are roommates.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to one of them is part of a film club. And the other one is kind of like recruited to become like the protagonist of their film. And it's like a will they or won't they thing because they clearly have chemistry together, but one of them is like very like nonchalant, blasé, and it's like just like very, very cool. He's blonde, and the other one is kind of like a little more studious and kind of quiet and shy.
Yes. Okay. So context for non-anime people. Boy love is like it's like a gay love story, right?
Yes,
okay, great.
Yes, it's a gay love story.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
So our shy film student, he starts to develop like a crush on our blonde cool dude.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying the names just because like I think people will be able to find.
That's fair. That's fair.
And I don't know. So there's only 2 episodes out. So clearly like the whole series is not done yet. It's still ongoing. But I read the manga and it's just. I hope it like really does it justice because it's just like such like a kind of like a fun like sweet like story.
I love that.
Yeah, and in conjunction, this is another one that is also one of my favorites. And it's already done. Paradise Kiss is also another like love story. Paradise Kiss is not a boys love story.
Okay.
Like yeah, but you will love Paradise Kiss.
Oh really?
Because it's you will love it because it's has a lot of fashion.
Oh my god, I do love fashion.
It's about a fashion school, and Paradise Kids is this group of like really talented designers, and they were trying to find a model, and this model is like this like uptight preppy girl from like a nearby prep school, and then recruited this uptight preppy girl into their like ring, and then she discovers like her love of fashion and her love of modeling, etc., and then her and this like main character. Okay, the main character, George, his name is George. He will drive you nuts in like the best way. Okay. When you watch this, like you can watch the whole thing on YouTube, honestly.
All right.
But he will drive you nuts in the best way.
Hysterical.
He's like one of those like really rich spoiled kids that's like kind of that's very arrogant and cocky. Yeah. And he's just like kind of like a womanizer, the type of womanizer that like will cheat on you. So,
I like that. That's one thing. Like, I love fashion. I love anime fashion. Like, literally.
Yes, you. Oh my god, you will love. I love this anime.
I'm like obsessed with anime fashion. Like, it's something that like I have in the back of my mind at all times. Is like whether or not the outfit I'm wearing could be worn as like a Pokemon trainer. Is like genuinely something I think about like on a regular basis. I'm like, I want to be like that cool. Anime fashion is like, I feel like I'll be inspired if I watch that.
You'll love Paradise Kiss. But I will give you a spoiler though.
Let's hear it.
So they don't end up together.
Okay.
But a lot of people have issues with the fact that they don't end up together. But I think I love that ending because it's so realistic.
I kind of love that. Like that's the thing is like I'm a real sucker for like things that don't quite work out in media, especially if that was like the whole point. So like I almost like the subverting of the genre a little bit because like everybody is expecting them to get together, But like the fact that they don't, I'm sure there's a reason, and I'm sure that there is. Like,
yeah, there's a really good reason for that, and it has to do with the plot and the storyline, and you'll like it.
It just doesn't always work out like that in real life, so it feels like much more grounded to me, which I think is a lot of fun.
But yeah, but it is definitely kind of like this whirlwind romancing. Like she ran away from home and moved in with him at one point. Like it's a whole thing. It's very good. And in contrast to Twilight Out of Focus, which Twilight Out of Focus, they do get together in the end. Okay. Unless the anime like changed it, like whatever. But yeah, so that one.
I was gonna say, do you have like a story like that where you had like a manga that you loved and then they just completely botched the anime version?
One Piece. No, but it's not even because of that. It's just like they have so many filler episodes because they were trying to like catch up to the manga. And I hate all of the fillers because they just introduced all these like useless characters. I'm just like, I'm not gonna watch this. Like, why is this so long?
Okay, that's so funny. Go back and listen to the rest of our episodes. You'll have context for why that's so funny to us.
Look, I fell out of love with One Piece because of those fillers, but I will always have love for Zoro and Luffy and Nami. I think she's so sexy.
Love that. Love that. Okay. So like,
and Robin, I also think she's very sexy. But
I mean, it's anime women. Come on.
It's anime women.
It's hard not to be. Okay, interesting. That's really funny. I would not have guessed that.
Okay, so moving on. Okay, now this one is maybe my all-time. There was a period of my life where I was like a bookworm, kind of, and I just like loved. I like read like I don't know like 5 books a day or something like that. I remember in like high school, yeah. And there's this anime called Bungo Stray Dog.
Okay.
And all of the characters and kind of the plot adjacent and the characters' abilities are named after famous authors or like their famous works.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah, like The Great Gatsby, he's Fitzgold is one of the characters, and his he has like I don't know, he has, and his like power is he can make money out of it.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. So Bungo Stray Dogs is really interesting. So like I said, all of the characters are named after influential authors. Okay. And their power are kind of based on the authors, like their books, like their most famous books. So my favorite character in this is his name is Dazai. Dazai is named after a real life author, obviously. He's a very famous Japanese author. I really love this anime, mostly because, and he's my favorite character because there was a period in my life where things were very dark. Yeah. And I had like suicidal thoughts and things like that. And Dazai, real life Dazai, the author, he also died by suicide. And he also had multiple suicide attempts. And one of the tropes of Dazai, the anime character, is he also like doesn't want to live anymore. And he has like, there's like a bunch of comical gags of him wanting to die. However, he doesn't like pain. So he's like, he has like this like weird like to-do list of finding out the most painless way to die.
So like, that's okay. Backing up really quick. Because like, yes, like that, I think stuff like that is really interesting, especially because, I mean, it's real, you know, like it's speaking to something that people feel, and I think that dancing around stuff like that doesn't really do anything for anything. It's not authentic, and so I find like taking pieces of reality like that, like which people like us have experienced, have felt before, make it so much more real. And then like also in this modern climate, in this day and age, with the stuff that's happening in the world, being young women especially, it is not easy to always have a hyper positive outlook on things.
I mean, though, this was like when I was in high school, though. The one
I know,
was like having,
but especially that, like, I mean, high school especially, dude. Like, I mean, high school is a battlefield in itself, you know. But even now, like, I sit here and I'm like, a lot of the way that I cope with the things that are going on in the world, the rights that are literally being taken away as we speak, all of that is like through comedy. So like, I think that is like, of course there's like an attraction to like a character like that because it's so relatable, especially like now and when I was in high school, you know?
Yeah, like I remember I found out about this manga when I was in high school. especially during those times. And he has his ability is so Dazai his most famous book is a book called No Longer Human. And I read this book. I read the translated version, so there could be like some
miscommunications.
Possibly, I don't know, but like, you know, I've also read the translated version in Chinese, and I've also read it in English. And the Chinese to English and English to Chinese one is pretty good, spot on. So I'm assuming the Japanese to Chinese
is fairly
to English
right.
it's also pretty good too. So yeah, but I don't know. When I read that book, it really really just spoke to me in the way. The theme of the book is not it's not a happy book. No Longer Human. Like, come on. Like, it's kind of a book about somebody who you're like kind of afraid of revealing yourself to others, or like what you really think in life to others. And it's kind of like, I don't know, there's this feeling there. The book is this feeling, gives off this feeling of you feeling like you are disqualified or like you are not good enough. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know. I mean, at the time when I was reading this, I was like, I don't know, like 17, 18. And I was like not having a good time in high school. And I was like, just like having some very dark thoughts. And then I read this book, and then I also saw, read the manga, and then saw the anime. And I don't know, the character Dazai, he definitely I love how like, he definitely has attributes from the real life Dazai, which like all these suicide thoughts and really nihilistic tendencies and just like not wanting to live, but he adds a lot of comedic elements to it.
I like that,
which for some reason it made me like very happy.
Well, it makes you
like,
feel seen,
I was like,
you know,
yeah.
like because like that exists, like, and it's not like, I don't know, like you can endure periods of time like that where you are feeling that way, but it doesn't mean you don't like to laugh every once in a while, you know, like it doesn't mean that everything around you is a big dark cloud. Like my version of that book is The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath, who's a very famous American poet. And a lot of her work is like about that kind of same feeling, especially surrounding women in the world. And like that kind of like feeling of aloneness and like I don't fit in, or I am not enough. And I just think like that is a level of authenticity that a lot of people tend to shy away from because it tends to be more intense, more dark topic, you know, but it's such a real thing. And like to give people who are feeling that way the solace of these characters, I think is really important, because like without that, like, wouldn't you have felt like a lot more alone, you know, like wouldn't you have felt like more misunderstood? Because like that's how I felt about these books too. And like I get that from a lot of people where they're like, I don't want to read stuff like that. I don't want to, like, it'll make me sad. And I'm like, okay, I get that. Not everybody likes what I like, but at the same time, like, there is a piece of me that gains, like, a lot of solace from understanding that there are other people who have felt these things, and they can still have fun, they can still joke, they can still do these things, and everything's, like, ultimately going to be okay, you know?
Yeah. So, yeah, this is like, probably, like, one of my my favorite, anime / manga. And the premise of the anime is like, just so like you can get into it, it's kind of like they're a armed detective agency. So it's like it's action, and it's also mystery and like detective thing involved. And it's very, I don't know, I think it's very interesting. It's kind of like smartly written, and they have all these like superhuman. So all the main characters in this have like superhuman abilities and stuff like that. And there is this like overarching theme of, there is this book in the anime where whatever you write in the book, as long as it's like a novel style, it will come true, or it will happen in real life.
Interesting.
So like it's very, I don't know, the premise of it and like the plots and everything are very interesting, and the artworks are also really pretty. But the reason why I got into anime is because of the character. Dazai, and I was like, my God, like, yeah, I get it.
I feel seen.
I get it.
Yeah, totally.
I feel seen. And I don't know. It just like, he really helped me out when I was in high school.
That's good. That's important. Like, I think that's something that not a lot of people talk about, but I think it's really important. I think we should put the names to all of these anime in the description for our episode so that everybody can check them out. And then, yeah, I mean, like, maybe I'll go and watch some of them and we can have, like, a follow-up episode where we talk about some of this stuff.
Yeah, no, you should watch Paradise Kiss.
That'd be fun.
You should watch it because I think that's, if there is one anime that is the epitome of Maya.
Oh my gosh, okay.
It's that.
Well, now I have to watch it. Now I need to know. Yeah, so I mean, I'm totally gonna check them out, and then we will probably do like Claire and I are eventually gonna start live streaming, doing a bunch of crazy stuff. So we will, I'm sure you'll see some of this stuff. Follow us on Instagram. That's where we will be announcing all of this stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, and get excited. We will have some content that has already come out by this point, and we will have some even newer content coming out after this point. So get excited for that. We will see you next week for another episode of Walter's Rear Window. And this has been our WasabiCon anime talk. I don't know about you, but I'm going to go run and watch some of these animes. Let us know what you've been watching, what you like, what you don't like, and tell us what we should be checking out. Until next time, bye!